Tell me your thoughts on the Sussan Ley versus Angus Taylor, which is what it appears to be coming down to.
Yeah, so I think Sussan is fantastic. I've known both of them for a very, very long time. She has an incredible background, whether it is growing up all around the world. She understands rural and regional areas. I'm pretty sure she's one of the few people in Parliament who can shear a sheep. She's a commercial pilot. She's got a huge depth of experience. She's not standing there going, hey, I went to a GPS school and a Rhodes Scholar, so the achievements I made before 30 are the reason you should be electing me, which if you listen to some of the reasoning behind Angus Taylor, I think, it's like someone in their 40s putting their HSC result on their CV. I mean, come on, grow up. What have you done recently? And I think what Angus has done recently showed that he either didn't do the work or he wasn't up to the job, because the policy dearth that we had to sell during this campaign, we didn't have a tax policy.
Yeah, but more, I'm going to stop you there.
Because, I'm
going to stop you right there for the simple reason that anything you can lay at the feet of Angus Taylor during the election campaign, Sussan Ley was the deputy.
That is actually not true. And I'll tell you why, because Angus Taylor and Jane Hughes were in charge of the ERC process, which goes through the campaign.
Badly, and she was the deputy leader.
They were responsible for pulling together. But I want to ask you something more important. Rowan, you've got to be honest.
Yes.
Jane Hume and Angus Taylor were responsible for pulling together policy positions because as Finance Minister and Treasurer,
I'm going to stop you again because this is in the Beltway stuff. I want to go back to Pauline.
But that's the reality of the jobs they had to do.
Pauline, who would you prefer to see leading? Who would be as good a leader as you are of One Nation? Who would be as good a leader of the Liberal Party or of the coalition? Tell me.
I'm glad I haven't got these leadership challenges there, I tell you. But the fact is that Sussan Ley, okay, she was the one years ago who didn't support the sheep export. She was quite happy to get rid of the live sheep export. Also, I went to her as environmental minister in the, I think it was the Morrison government, not the Turnbull one, and about environment issues about a coal mine in Queensland, which she could have done something about. She never did anything about it. So she doesn't inspire me as a leader. I've watched her in these interviews. She leaves me just wanting, what are you standing for? Show me some leadership skills or qualities. Angus Taylor, well, I think that he could have actually done more during the election with finance and with decent policies to actually counteract the Labor Party's policies. So they don't inspire me. I think both parties are lacking good talent on the floor of Parliament. Go back to the Howard days, there was great front bench ministers on either side of Parliament. We're lacking that today in our Parliament. OK, I'm going to quickly, every time, Hollie, I hear Sussan Ley's name, I think of this ad from the 80s.
Tees and overalls $19 each, only at Sussan, right now.
Well, that's
the reason being there are two S's, and her name is Sussan Ley. Tell me why there are two S's in her name.
I've heard different stories.
Tell me why there are two S's in her name. Well, I'll tell you then, because she's into numerology, the same as Simon Reynolds or Marcus Jackson or all these other people from the 80s and 90s who were into numerology, loads of them in advertising. I saw them all, and they stuck an extra letter for some madcap reason into their name. My understanding, please correct me, Sussan Ley, if this is not the case, is she stuck an extra S in there because she believes in numerology. Does the Liberal Party need a leader who believes in numerology as the way to make decisions?
Well, I don't think that's how Sussan's going to make decisions, but, you never know. Perhaps that extra S is what's going to see her over the line, and I hope so on
maybe
Tuesday.
It'll be
maybe it is the good
Liberal
luck.
Party,
maybe it is good
Liberal
luck.
Party
I don't
with
know.
2 or 3 I's and a couple of D's.
I think that's being ridiculous.
Well, putting an extra S in your name is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Lots of people spell their name in very weird and unusual ways.
Well, I don't. Rowan, from now on, maybe I'll be lucky. You've got 2 L's in Hollie, but they were there all along. Let's go back to Pauline. Is it Pauline Hanson from now on?
Rowan, I can tell you something. The Liberal Party don't need another moderate or a progressive leading it. They need to get back to the grassroots. And I don't believe that Sussan Ley is the one for it. So anyway, that's my opinion. Put Michaela Cash in. I'd have more confidence in her with the conservative values of what the Liberal Party stands for. Otherwise, I don't mind. Keep going down that path, because I'm going to pick up your votes, because I'll stand for the conservative values that the Liberal Party don't.
100%.
We could lose Michaela as leader in the Senate for the Liberals, because if Jacinta becomes deputy leader,
we will carry on this conversation.
It'll
be fascinating to see what happens on Tuesday in the party room. That's it for Hollie and Pauline. Thanks so much for coming on.